Shut up and sit down.
Welcome back, everybody. Rebel Trading Group Podcast, episode 61. We got an exciting week coming up, baby. My name is the gluten-free Jason Bessing. What's going on, everybody? I think I already might have asked you that. Like I said, we do have a big week coming up. We are still in the midst of earnings. And we are protecting ourselves, and we are ready to fight the earnings battles that may lie ahead of us in the upcoming weeks. I think only about 18% of the S&P has already reported. It's a very small number. But I came in here to talk to you guys specifically about one stock that I currently hold. I have a small position in. And I just want to do a breakdown of it. And this stock is, drumroll, Nokia. Oh, I won't be offended if you just go ahead and change to another podcast. But I actually want to break it down, build it up, and I want to sell you my side of it. And then I want to tell you what I'm doing with it as we head into the earnings report after market close on Thursday. So, that being said, Nokia. Let's just go ahead and let's just go with it. Nokia, the brand that we knew as one of the first major players in the cell phone industry. When they first started to become mainstream, everybody had one of those Nokia phones, those thick, rugged, durable phones that had the snake game on them. They always had the green backlit screen, and the battery lasted 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Holy shit, did that battery last. They don't make them like they used to. But that's always what I remember as Nokia. Same with everybody else. Everybody always remembers it as that. And they had their kind of rise and demise, just like most companies do, especially in the tech industry. But Nokia specifically, like BlackBerry, kind of lost all its traction with Motorola, and LG was a big player. We had the dawn of Apple in 2007 with the iPhones, but before that everything was Motorola Razrs. That was the cool one to have. So Sony Ericsson was in there. Sony. Yeah. So everyone kind of had a turn, and ever since then, Google and Samsung and, of course, Apple with the iPhone has dominated the space for about the past decade. Yeah, about the past 10 years, everybody has had one of those three phones. And just outside of that little category of those three powerhouse who, I could probably do the research and get you the correct answer, but if I had to guess, control somewhere around 70 to 75% of the American cell phone market. I don't want to include China with their Huawei phones because it's a different market. I'm talking about different stock here. So I don't want to include them in there quite yet. Of course, they do have their stature, if you will. But Nokia specifically has had some smartphones that, personally, I don't know who buys one. I don't know anybody who has a Nokia smartphone, but they continue to come out with them every year. One of the reviews that I always read about them is that they have really good cameras. But, I mean, what phone doesn't these days, right? So when you hear this, the stock Nokia, that's what I think. I'm thinking lagger in the cell phone industry. I'm thinking huge competition, and they're very outdated, and they're going to go the way of the BlackBerry and the PDA and the beeper. But when I came across this stock, Nokia, when I came across my screener about 4 or 5, maybe 6 months ago, a few of the metrics actually stood out to me, which caused me to be rather intrigued. So I want to go over some of my favorite metrics about it, and we're also going to talk about some of the things that you may not know about Nokia. So right off the bat, one of the biggest things that stood out to me is the market cap, which I'm pulling up right here. I just lost it. I'm pulling it up on FinViz. So give me market cap is $37 billion with a B, billion dollars. And that's rather higher than I expected, interestingly enough. So that was one of the big things that first stood out to me. And then I also noticed that it paid a 3.7% dividend. That also stood out to me. And right off the bat, those two things, if you know anything about the gluten-free Jason investing, those are two of my favorite metrics to kind of bring me interested into the stock. It has high volume. I like the low stock price within the $6 range. I bought it. I have a cost basis of $5.70. So I like it kind of as a dividend play because Nokia's primary businesses these days are no longer cell phone production and cell phone manufacturing and research. Their big bread and butter is telecommunication services. So Nokia develops software and infrastructure such as towers and cables and towers and cables to provide broadband services both in the United States, North America, and in the home country of Finland, so a bit around Europe. So it's kind of a play on telecommunications, kind of like a little AT&T or a little Verizon, because they provide the infrastructure, the software, the systems to do that. I don't know the terminology. I'm not in that fucking industry. So I felt like that has a little bit of safety to it. Plus, I thought, like I said, it could be a play on 5G. We're on that 4G LTE thing right now, or LTE. I think it was 4G was last. We're on LTE, and we're heading to 5G next. And if I'm not mistaken, it's somewhere out there. It's somewhere out there now being used, but it hasn't hit massive markets yet. But there's so much more to, everyone's cell phone's going to be faster. Yeah, but you've got to look at what people are doing on their phones between streaming video game tournaments, League of Legends, or Fortnite. Fortnite, holy shit. That is a market within itself. That's a whole different podcast, though. So the 5G is going to enable gamers and players to link in faster with less delay and more ease and simplicity, and maybe at a higher price that these companies can charge. So I like this as a play on 5G. It's going to be expensive to get that 5G out there and put up the infrastructure systems to get it going. But once it gets going, it could be sitting on a gold mine. And I think Nokia is a company that is on top of that. So what are we doing with her? Well, like I said, I've already got the 5.7 cost basis on it, which is good. I had a nice run up, but I kind of got screwed out of selling a covered call on it. I didn't expect it to run up so fast. For example, if you can go back in the past about 5 days or so, you can see that. Let me see if I can pull her up on the other chart here. If you give me just a quick second. So yeah, 5 days ago, she spiked up 7% one day, and not really on the back of much news. I couldn't really point to what it would have caused that. So, yeah, I go through the news stories on several different news sites here, which, real quick, I always use one. I always plug it if I get the chances. SeekingAlpha.com. It's I would say a more educated Stock Twits. A lot of good articles and contributors and authors over there, and it's a good way to follow some of your favorite stocks. But yeah, I'm not really seeing much news that's telling what exactly happened. So you can't expect a huge jump up like that. So now, in my opinion, technically, she's overpriced. She's at a 52-week high at 664. She's currently at 649, but she hit a 52-week high just the other day at 664 on that huge run up. And like I said, I already sold a call on it, but I'm not one to go directional. If you go back and listen to all our podcasts, I just don't like calling one or the other. But if you want my opinion, I think we're going to short Nokia into earnings here. I think it had a huge run up. I think there will be some dismal earnings, maybe some data about the phone or some data about how the 5G isn't doing very well, or it's not going up as fast. I don't know. I really don't know what to tell you, but if you want my opinion from the technical perspective, it's a short for sure. And then you throw on earnings on top of that, they'd have to blow out earnings out of nowhere in order to have a spike up. So I don't know what to tell you. Short it now, but maybe long Nokia? Can we do that? Is that allowed? So that's what I'm working with. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, insults, ideas, corrections, let us know. Rebel Trading Group with 2 G's. That's Rebel Trading Group at gmail.com. I am the gluten-free Jason Bessing. We are on iTunes. We are on Stock Twits. We are on Soundcloud. We are on YouTube. YouTube. You know YouTube. We will always have all of our episodes for free for you forever on the YouTube. So give us a check. Shoot us an email. Let's get in on the conversation. Let me know what you think of Nokia. I'd like your thoughts because I'm really kind of torn. So, I love you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for the quick episode. I love the quick episodes. Cranking out a quickie. I'd rather crank out a little quickie every day than have like an hour and a half where we just kind of ramble about credit spreads. So, thanks for listening. I love you guys. We're going to get back to you hopefully Wednesday. No, fuck that. I'm getting back to you guys on Wednesday. Love you.
Romantic, isn't it? Shut up and sit down.